Welcome everybody, welcome. I am Jess, you're watching Keto Rewind. Thank you for clicking on today's video. I have a fun video for you today. I am at the halfway point of the FLAB Fighter Challenge. I am a week ahead of you guys because clearly I had to film the content. So you guys have only been doing week 1 and you're starting week 2. So I'm essentially starting week 3. But being that I'm at the halfway point of the challenge, I wanted to give you a quick update, how I feel it's going, what changes I need to do, that kind of thing. And yeah, so for those of you that are new to this channel, I like to do monthly weight loss challenges. I share with you what I'm doing to help keep the journey moving forward. And you know, when you have a lot of weight to lose, it's easy to get discouraged and off track. So by doing weight loss challenges, it's just something new every month. So you get a clean slate and you get to keep working on things. So if you like to follow along with me, I am doing the FLAB Fighter Challenge right now. So be sure to check out this playlist. I think it's this way, it might be that one. One day I'm gonna pay attention and find out which corner the cards is in, but that will give you the playlist for week 1. You can also go to KetoRewind.com, my website, download the free meal plan for weeks 1 and 2, the shopping list for weeks 1 and week 2, and then you can follow along all in that first page, all the daily videos of this challenge. So I'm not filming on the weekends, but I'll give you a quick recap on that as well. Well, that was a mouthful. Let's get this video started. So it has been 2 weeks of tracking a high protein keto. I have my macros set to high protein keto in my carb manager or my food log. The regular keto numbers are a lot lower in protein, a little higher in fat. That's the main difference. I'm aiming for around 1,700 calories per day. Now, I am working out Monday through Friday, strength training, with weekends being filled with everything kid. So I don't work out on the weekends, those are my rest days. So that is basically like the schedule of how things are going. So after 2 weeks, the first thing I noticed is how quickly food adds up when you're logging your macros. And it's always the numbers that you don't want to go up, and the numbers you're trying to get a lot of are you're struggling to hit that amount. So I did struggle for the past 2 weeks to hit the protein amount around 100, I think it's 155 grams I'm supposed to be having per day. And it was so easy to hit the carbs, you know, and I did struggle somewhat with the fat. But overall, after logging them every day, it's like, for one, it's really tedious, and 2, it's eye-opening because your body and the scale writes down everything, even if you forget. So, and just being mindful of all the ingredients and, you know, how much goes into your food. So it was kind of eye-opening. The second thing is, look how much my hair has grown out, like my roots is what I'm basically saying. I believe I'm 5 weeks out, and I think I get my hair done either this week or next week, like my touch-up, but you can see how much regrowth I have, and I do think that is pretty much a direct result of how much protein I've been eating over the past month or 2. I've really been striving to hit protein macros, so my hair, my skin, my nails, you know, like all of that has shown improvement. So, but I think it's kind of crazy how much regrowth there is. And my hair, I feel like, grows slow. But after looking at my hair, I'm like, I don't think that's slow. That's a lot of hair in like 5 weeks, you know. I'm like maybe 3/4 of an inch or so, you know. And they do their best when they do your hair to like have it so you don't have this like straight line. But there's a lot of root there. So that's most noticeable. Second, I've been taking collagen. So that has, the brand that I've switched to, not saying Perfect Keto is bad, they just cost too much for my wallet. So I switched to another brand called Sparkle, and it is a Verisol collagen, has vitamin C in it, you know, and you can mix it with water instead of having to have an afternoon coffee. So I like to sip on water, you know, to gets my water in, and it's a tasty lemonade that has collagen in it. So I will link that down below. I am not affiliated at all with them. That's just what I'm personally using. So the increased protein, taking collagen, and then just tracking all of my food was pretty eye-opening this week. I have felt really good, And because I'm doing all these things in a challenge, I've been consistent. And oh wow, what a game changer it makes when you actually put the work in, you know, and that's why I referenced at week 84's video where I'm like, you can't just show up when it's convenient. You have to show up every single day. Every opportunity you have to show up. And it's not saying that you can't have an oopsie or a, you know, an off day, but it makes a difference. And for me, I find that if I have a one day where I call it a treat day, I swear it takes 6 more days to get back to the point I was before I had that. So it comes down to, on the weekends has been the downfall of this journey. And after doing this challenge where I am forcing myself to be, you know, not perfect, but do my best, including weekends, it has definitely showed how much being consistent matters, because things are moving again, things are changing, I'm feeling better, I'm leaning out, I'm burning fat, you know, I'm doing all the things that made me have success the first time around when I did this. So point being, you have to be consistent, you have to show up every day. Now, with adding on to that, I did weigh myself. I am not down as much as I'm not going to share that because I want to save that to the end of the challenge. So yes, I have lost weight, but it's not as much as I expected to have lost, being that I'm 248 pounds. You know, things should be moving off a lot easier at this point. It's not until I get a little bit closer where things slow down. So that means that because I've had a history of yo-yoing, that also affects metabolism. So I feel like I'm going to back it off a little bit and aim for 1,600 calories this week instead of 1,700. Now, I'm not shrinking the calories, you know, like I'm not slicing and doing something really aggressive, but I have to find the point where I'm in enough of a deficit to see a change in the scale where I should be losing at least 1 to 2 pounds a week. So that's basically what I'm saying. So I will adjust my personal calories. That does not mean you have to change yours. My stats, my diet history, my everything is going to be very independent from yours. They're not related at all. So if you're seeing results, don't mess with it. Leave it alone. But being that I am a habitual yo-yoer, that affected my metabolism not in a good way. So if I'm not seeing the change in the scale on, you know, like I should be, being so consistent and knowing what I've been up to, then that means I'm eating too much. So that means I'm just gonna shave away another 100 and see if that moves things along a little bit better, because I'm trying to find that sweet spot at the end of the day. And it's gonna be unique to each person. So basically that is my plan, just shaving off 100 calories overall, which change. I'm not messing with the protein. I'm taking that from fat and carbs. I will leave the protein alone, because I still believe 100% in getting all of your protein in. But I will say, I mentioned a couple times to Kyle, after a couple nights, I was just checking in with myself and noticing I'm not hungry. Now, yes, I'm eating a ton of protein, but there should be some bit of hunger. Like I felt like I was a little too full. So again, that means I'm signaling to my body I'm not at that sweet spot I need to be in a serious caloric deficit. So anyways, that's my observations, but overall I feel so good. It feels so good to be on track. I feel so motivated, inspired, and I'm ready to take, you know, the next 2 weeks on and share them with you. Let's get to the fun part of the video, the what I'm eating in a day, that kind of thing. I will note really quick, I'm not a medical doctor, not a healthcare professional, you know, I'm not an expert. This is just what I'm doing. Take it with a grain of salt, and you do you, talk to your own doctor. So with that said, let's hop into week 2, day 1, and we'll go over the full day of eating. Okay, so here is the week 2 shopping list and also the week 2 menu. So today's Monday, and hard-boiled eggs is pretty self-explanatory, so we're going right to lunch. We're doing turkey burgers. These have been pre-made last week. I still have some left over. Basically take those out of the freezer, throw them on the grill, and assemble your turkey burger. So I'm doing 2, and this was the 90-10 combination of fat and protein. So I'm doing 2. It gets nice high protein macro in there, a full egg that's been fried in a 1/4 tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to load it with relish, that is dill relish. Be careful not to use sweet, and lots of mustard. So this was a typical lunch for me. It's satisfying. It has such a good taste. It's filling. I'm having it with my glass of collagen lemonade and a Greek yogurt. This one is a sugar-free Greek yogurt with 20 grams of protein and is delicious. What's up, guys? It is now just before dinner, and I thought I would meal prep just so that I have these done when it's time to actually make dinner. So I'm making like a sriracha chicken wrap that has romaine, tomatoes, onion, just a high protein wrap. And instead of using the carb balanced tortillas that have wheat in them and they're a little bit more processed, I'm gonna make homemade wraps. And these ones are made out of 3 ingredients: mozzarella cheese, xanthan gum, and almond meal, or almond flour. So these are gonna be a little bit extra protein too, so it's gonna be yummy. So I've made these before. Let me turn the camera on and show you what we have. If you are interested in making your own tortillas, I highly recommend a tortilla press. I'll link this one down below. But I've just got my almond flour, some mozzarella cheese, and in this case, I'm just using pre-shredded. I'm not looking for a mozzarella flavor. If I was making like a pizza or something, I wanted the cheese to really stand out, that's when I would shred my own cheese. But in this case, this is just going to make a tortilla, so I want it to be a mild flavor. So I will be using a pre-shredded mozzarella cheese in this case. And what holds it all together is xanthan gum. So I'm going to put 2 cups of mozzarella cheese in here, along with a cup of almond flour and a teaspoon of xanthan gum, microwave it, and it will form a dough. So let's get that going. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna need is half this bag. I will post the recipe down below. I believe it's Libby's. It was the one that created this recipe, but I'm just gonna eyeball half the bag because this bag is a 4-cup bag, and you could do this in a bunch of different steps. This one recipe will make 8 tortillas, which is plenty for tonight. My kids are just gonna get a regular gluten-free tortilla, so this is basically just for me and Kyle. And I need a cup of almond flour. Put that in there. And I'm not gonna add the xanthan gum until I have this warmed up. So I'm gonna put this in the microwave at 30-second intervals until it's melted, kind of like a fathead dough. Okay, so this just came out of the microwave and it's been in there for 30 seconds. I'm just giving it a quick little toss, and I'm gonna put it back in there just for another 30 seconds. Back it goes, 30 more seconds. Okay, and we're back. And at this point, I'm gonna add the xanthan gum so that it will start thickening up, and give it a good sprinkle. And give it another stir. And we're until a dough ball essentially forms. And it's pretty cool. So I'm going to keep mixing this. There we go, I was off camera there. Until everything is good and incorporated. And it's okay if you want to use your hands. It's your food. This isn't a restaurant here. And then I'm gonna divide this into 8 pieces. I'll get the total weight of the dough and then divide that by 8. And that's how much dough I need in each one. And that is pretty much as easy as it gets. So now, just to make sure we're good and mixed, I'm gonna give it a quick knead with my hands. And if you do it too much, it might get weird, so I wouldn't do it more than 30-second intervals. And there you have it. So now I'm gonna get a weight of my dough. Okay, so it is 300 grams, and I'm going to basically just break this into some dough balls real quick, and about 37 or so grams a ball. See how good that holds together? Oop, got to zero out my scale. So that's 26. All right, there's a 35. So I roughly need to make them that size. This way your macros are all gonna be pretty close. And I like it to be kind of rustic, so I don't want it perfect. I think part of the visual appeal is having it rustic looking. So just quickly make 8 balls and get them as, you know, incorporated as you can, so that when you put it in your press, the fun and magic starts. All right, so now we have 8 balls. Now, all we're gonna do is clear this away so you can see. Get rid of my scale. The magic of a tortilla press is only as strong as your parchment paper. It is absolutely necessary to put one on the bottom, one right there, and another layer on top. Now you close it and then press. And there you have it. Does that not look awesome or what? So at this point, we're gonna take it right to a heated pan. It would help if I had it heated. And cook it. All right, plop it on there, let it cook. And as soon as it has about a minute on each side, it will be ready to go. So now you just flip it, and does that not look awesome or what? Let me get closer. And there you have it, it's flipped. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the next 8 or the next 7 remaining ones, and I'll be back when they're done. All right, this one looks like it might be ready to flip, and it is. And there you have it. Doesn't that look like a delicious homemade tortilla or what? All right, and the last one is done. Okay, so let me show you up close. They don't fall apart, and doesn't that make a great taco shell? Okay, so these are gonna cool, and since I'll be using these in about an hour, I'm just gonna leave them on my counter to cool. I am not going to put them in the fridge just yet because we're gonna be eating them in an hour, but I'm gonna store them in a Ziploc bag with the parchment paper still and just leave them in the fridge. But I've had them last several days in the fridge with no issues. You can warm them up, you know, just treat them like a normal tortilla.
One eternity later.
Alrighty, it is now dinner time, and I am making spicy chicken wraps. So let me show you what I have all set here. All right, so I have diced up Persian cucumber, diced up red onion, diced up cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna make a dressing with Greek yogurt and sriracha. My greens are gonna be arugula, and I'm going to be using these low carb or keto tortillas that are basically mozzarella cheese and almond flour. And I'm going to start up with some frozen diced chicken. So let me put that in a pan and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna start off, let me change that, making the sauce first. So I am using Greek yogurt. Let me get a spoon. All right, so I need 100 grams of Greek yogurt. Let me mix it up here. This is the 0% Fage. It doesn't matter which one you used. It depends on what fits your macros. So, all right, close enough. Next, I'm gonna do 20 grams of sriracha. Zero this out. All right, here's 20 grams of sriracha. I need 1 clove of garlic. All right, 1 clove of garlic, half teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper. And the juice of 1 lemon. It looks like I used up all of my lemon, so I'm gonna use a splash of apple cider vinegar for the acid. Now, we're just gonna mix it up and set it aside. Oh boy, does that look delicious. Okay, so next I'm going to turn my scale back on and measure out 600 grams of chicken. Instead of doing, and I measured out 446 grams of chicken. I'm using chicken breast. You can use chicken thighs, you know, just depends on how it fits in your macros. So next, I'm gonna put the seasoning on here after I wash my hands. Okay, so in the pan, I have 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, 4 cloves of garlic, and then I'm gonna add the chicken. I'm using frozen. It's easier to measure out frozen chicken. It's easier to store in the fridge, and it does make my life a little easier when there is, you know, busy evenings on my agenda. So, fun fact, I forgot to reduce the amount of spices to go with the reduced serving of chicken. So my chicken spices were for 600 grams and I only did about 445 grams of chicken. So just keep that in mind, that why it looks like there's so much spice in there. And next time, I do wish I did have more chicken because this chicken was fantastic, super delicious. So anyways, you're gonna put that seasoning onto your chicken. Once it's all cooked through, you can start assembling your wraps. All right, so at this point, we have the tortillas. I put arugula. I know I said romaine, but you get the point. You can use whatever lettuce you have. I wanna use up my arugula first. So I'm just gonna put chicken on both of these. All right, and then next I'm gonna throw a little purple onion. Or I'm sorry, red onion. A couple tomatoes. And some cucumber. Does that not look so good or what? And, oh, total that was 8 ounces of chicken. I'm sorry, it was raw. And total, that is 6 ounces of chicken. It was 8 ounces raw. All right, and then there's the sauce. Does that not look delicious or what? And there you have the finished product. I ended up having 3 tortillas after looking at the macros, and I could fit it in, so that's what I did. Okay, so the link for the tortilla press is down below, the link to the TikTok account that I got the recipe from. All the links are gonna be down below in the description box, and I will see you tomorrow at day 2, at week 2, day 2. Bye!